Hi. So we are like 30 hours away from 2021. This year has been extraordinary, to say the least. I think that many of us will agree on that. And I think extraordinary times reach out in ordinary ways, asking us to tap into our extraordinary selves, right? So I've not seen many of you for a while, and I'm hoping that the year is wrapping up okay for you. And I'm here to wish you a great big happy new year as well. I want to be able to give you that wish and that blessing of a beautiful new year. Last night I sat with the women who have been on the Priestess Path immersion, this soul path immersion with me for the first year. This is my first year of Circle of women that are moving through with me. And we gathered last night for some journaling and some exploration around this full moon, which we are now coming out of the window. And it's beautiful to know that as it's coming out of its fullness and starting to wane, that this is where we are entering into this really deep inner reflectiveness as we go into the new year, which is a beautiful concept in and of itself. But one of the things that we did last night, I asked them to journal around if they could find one or two things in 2020 that they're grateful for. So I turned the music on and we all began to journal. And as I started to journal, I was like, thinking to myself, my goodness, there's so much was coming to me that I was so grateful for this year. So as we wrapped up that particular journaling, and then I always open it up to, is there anything that wants to be witnessed or shared? And I said, were you as surprised as I was at how much came to you that that you're grateful for this year? And it was pretty unanimous. Every one of us in Circle felt that. And the other really common thread was how grateful we were to have this circle, this community, this sistership that we formed. And I'm feeling the word clan because these women have become so beautifully woven together, and yet you can see their individual threads, the tapestry that they are creating. They've brought their own color and their own weaving, and then we looking at it now, just over 9 months into this year that we've spent together, and seeing what they've created. And for myself as facilitator, it has been so powerful to witness their metamorphosis. Like this, they're owning it. They're tapping into their purpose and the things that light them up. And they're developing practices and deepening the harmony of living in nature, with nature, with the natural elements, with the solar and lunar cycles. Yeah, it's just been an incredible journey. And hearing what they've had to say over the last several months about this process, I've known I've wanted to create a new emergence, a new circle to come together of like-minded women that are ready to dive deep into that calling, into that spirituality, that spark, that nudge. That I know you know what I'm saying. Like there's a nudge in so many of us that are saying, go deeper. Right? And for weeks, I have wrestled with the whole advertising of this. the whole, I look at sales pages and they're beautiful, and I want to sign up for everything I see, and yet I go to create my own and I'm like, this doesn't feel right to me. This just doesn't feel good. And I've questioned why. And it's because this is me. And I've wrestled with even just doing this video, and I thought, you just need to see me, to see what it is, because obviously you can't know what I have to offer if I don't offer what I have. And I thought, what is the biggest thing that I bring to the table here? Well, it's me. And I've asked the ladies, what is it about this circle that is so different, right? And I have the honor to create and hold the sacred container, the sacred space, to facilitate and curate and maintain the safety, the sacredness, as we in this sistership move forward together. Yeah, it's been really very beautiful. And so the offering is, I'm ready. It's time to start looking at forming a new circle. And I thought, okay, well, what makes me just a little bit different? Well, me. If you've ever worked with me before, you know that. I am just a little bit different. I work very intuitively. Well, there's an outline that I like to follow. I go real intuitive. It's intuitive with who is in circle, who's sitting in circle, what is going on with each sister in the circle, what is going on in our world, right? There's a lot of intuitiveness that goes into this particular immersion program. For a long time, I was like, I would love to be one of those soul coaches, those life coaches that has thousands of followers or thousands of people that I've worked with. And to be very honest, it's not true. I love the one-on-one. I love the intimate small circles. I think not only am I nourished and fed so well, but the container then is very manageable, and the women are able to sister each other. There's a deeper connection, a more richness to the process. So this is what I'm presenting. The program follows, the process follows the solar and lunar cycles. We do follow the wheel of the year. So I like to begin in spring, and that's when my year one will be emerging, and that's when we will be initiating a new circle coming in. And this is an invitation to you if this is something that is of interest to you. We will start in spring, and we follow the 8 spokes of the wheel. We study the elements of earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. Also the directions, north, south, east, and west. We do talk a lot about the various archetypes, and there's reasonings behind that. I use the word priestess and the priestess process, priestess path, and we go deep into the reasoning of that. But I'll just say here, because priest and priestess, this is direct connection between self and the divine, matter and spirit, human and God, goddess, universe, source, whatever it is for you. And at that, it is the God of your own understanding. I'm not here to ever say that you have to believe one way or another way. You have to give up your religion or your other faiths. This is all about enhancing and tapping into your own inner wisdom as a spiritual being having this earthly experience. And what an amazing experience we're having right now, right? What a choice time to be alive on this planet. And I think, as such, many of us are feeling that spark of, is there something more? Or what is it? Like, I'm remembering something, but I don't know what it is I'm remembering. It feels familiar, but I'm not so sure what it is. Right? This process takes you through a remembering, a rediscovery. It is, you begin to find the little nuggets that you left on your path and go, oh, this is my path. It's not a path that's already been paved. It's a path that has been buried and covered up. And out here in the Pacific Northwest, it's probably covered in blackberry bushes, and we have to learn to navigate our way through. And what are the beings that are there waiting for us to welcome us back onto our path? What I also bring with me in this process that I offer is a lot of support. And again, that's why I like my circles, the circles that I facilitate, to be smaller. I do offer one-on-one to each person that comes in to circle, that is committed for the year. And that's another thing that I'm continually working with and being cognitively aware of in circle as facilitator is the commitment. Where are you on the path? Where are you on your path? What does your path look like? And are you committed? Is it too much? Is it not enough? Do you need to take a pause? Do you need to maybe step off? And there's just a tenderness around all of that, some careful undoings energetically when that happens. And so there's that. I bring that commitment, accountability, deep support, one-on-one connection. Sometimes I push to be a little edgy, and sometimes I push in areas that feels like, we're doing this again, but then we have to go deeper. I call it spelunking. And so I spelunk as I prepare to curate and facilitate circle. And I encourage spelunking, I encourage sharing, I encourage tapping into your own wisdom, your own voice. And this is another thing that I really feel strongly about in holding the circle is, and why it's a year is, one, because it takes a whole year to go through all the spokes of the wheel of the year, right? We are in practice together, and so it takes time to develop that practice. And this is not a program that if you're looking to look outside of yourself to find the answers, this program is all about, this time with me is all about, we're going to go within, because you have everything you need to process through, to forge that path, to create that path. And how is that path looking when you've charted it, when you're clearing the way? How does it look and how does it feel when you come to the next horizon, right? And we, as a small, intimate group, are right there with you, right? Maybe there's deeper waters we have to cross. We're right there with you. We're part of that sistership that gets you there. Things that we also will study besides the wheel of the year and the solar and lunar cycles, we do a little bit of check-in with the chakras. So you become very familiar with your chakras and the direction that they spin for you and how you're feeling about them. We talk about the chakras. We the various gods and goddesses, the archetypes of the gods and goddesses. I believe that the archetypes are incredibly important because there's been a lot of fragmentation in the divine feminine and divine masculine as well. And it's beginning to understand from that that primal source, those early beginnings, what those archetypes mean, and how do we recreate or start to begin to bring those fragments back together. And as we're understanding that, we are understanding self. We do pull up our birth charts and we do a little exploration in them. Yeah, it's just a lot of really fun stuff, a lot of fun practices. There's the 3 big that we work on, which is prayer, contemplation, and meditation. We work on that, and we work on breath. I use, there's a modality that I use in all of my practices. It's been a healing modality for me, and that is intuitive movement, intuitive writing, and intuitive art. And so that's brought in as well. We talk about that and the importance of that. We talk about holding sacred space, setting sacred space within your home, outside of your home, where, when and where, ever, all of those things. So if this is something that you just kind of go, I'm a little bit interested in this. I'm curious about this. Maybe you're curious about me. Maybe you're curious about what the ladies in year 1 have to say. And they are going into a year 2, which I'm so excited that we get to go a little bit deeper. I really feel like I'm so excited because it feels like a sistership. Like we are in year 2, I just visually see we are launching our ships. And we're sailing together into deeper uncharted waters. That's part of our path. That's part of the journey. It's so exciting. It is so exciting. This work, you can go deeper and deeper and deeper. It's eternal. When I was doing this work for myself years ago, when I began my journey, of course it was after my accident I started, but it was really after Jeff crossed over, and then losing so much that I lost in 08 and 09, and where I was emotionally, I began this process, and there are some key individuals who helped guide me, and I went for a drive to the middle of nowhere, Cedar City, Utah, to a yoga studio. And on the drive back, it was a very dark, chilly night in southern Utah. And Utah sky is just amazing. That is one thing I do miss up here in the Pacific Northwest, is that amazing southern Utah sky. Anyways, the light, I'm driving along, and I'm just really feeling, we had just had a gong bath in this yoga session that I was attending. And as I'm driving on the 15, it was like no one on the highway. And it was probably a good 45-minute drive. And I'm headed back home to my little house. And I look up at the sky and I saw all the stars. And I was like, just like breathtaking. It's not like it wasn't the first time I'd seen them, right? I mean, I'd seen them before, but they took my breath away, right? And I'm driving and trying to look and driving, and all of a sudden I clearly heard that as vast and beautiful as that sky, that universe is, that is what's within me. And that's when I realized that this whole process isn't about reaching outside of self. It's about coming inward, tapping into our own inner wisdom, moving through our own wounds, moving through past and future. And I know that as I spiral in and study and I spiral out, that's what this is. We're no longer linear. We're spiraling in and spiraling out, constantly moving in this spiraling motion. And we are vast. And as expansive as the universe is, you are expansive too. That's what this is about. It's tapping into that expansiveness. It's seeing the metamorphosis from within coming outward. It's really very magical. It's so hard to put words to. And I'm not a fluff person, and I'm not like, let me make it fancy and let me convince you. That's not what this is about at all. This is all about, this is what I have to offer. I know what I gained through the process. I've learned how to put it together that feels and fits best for me. And that's what I want to give back. That's what I am giving back. So if this is something that you're interested in, if you are a hell yes right out the gate, Let's chat. Let's set up a time. You and I can chat. Let's make sure that this is a perfect fit for you. Because again, it's about commitment. It's about commitment. I just lost my computer. So let's get you set up for a one-on-one consultation. Let's see how it fits and feels for you. We want to make sure that you resonate with me and I with you. If you're still kind of like, I'm not really sure, but I'd like to know more, I am setting a Zoom Q&A. It will be in not this coming Monday, but the following Monday. If you're interested in that, please reach out to me. I will send you that Zoom link. Several of the ladies who are in Circle for year 1 will be there. You can ask them questions. They will be more than happy to share what this process has been for them. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Wishing you a happy, happy new year. I am holding out just so much hope and love and light and growth and prosperity. Oh, that is another thing. So I'm only planning these 2 circles. All my other little play shops will be included for year 2 and year 1. So, for example, starting in February, before we actually emerge or initiate into the 2 circles, we will have an abundance play shop, which I'm super excited about, right? And who doesn't want to talk abundance and prosperity and money and all of that good stuff, right? So, sorry, I wanted to add this in. So everything that I do, the Oracle, discovering the Oracle within, anything, all the full moon and new moon, everything is included. And I probably will not be reaching out other than just my private coaching, private readings, in my private sessions. But any play shops or any circles will be for the 2 circles, the 2nd year and the 1st year. That keeps my attention directly on this space. And that's part of my commitment to both circles and each individual in the circle. I know what to hold that space is really important, and it's a holding for a whole year and more, right? Like, I don't let you go at all. Okay, I think that's all I really want to share. I know there's going to be more, but we'll do that. We'll share more at the Zoom. So please join the Zoom. Please reach out and let me know how you are doing, how you are being, how you are processing. And I encourage you also to just do a little journaling with, what are you grateful for in 2020? I think you might be a surprise too. There's a lot of grief in 2020, a lot of sadness, a lot of loss. Yeah, and there's a lot to be grateful for. Joy abounds. All right, now, sending you that wish again before I just clicked in my head that there was more I wanted to share with you. Happy New Year. Sending you so many blessings. Please sign up. Again, if you know this is right for you, let's do it. Or join that Zoom. I would love to have you there. All right, beloveds. Take very good care of you. Hope to see you and talk with you very, very soon.